You finish a completely normal conversation. Nothing dramatic happened. You didn't insult anyone, reveal a terrible secret, or even say anything unusual. But a few minutes later, your brain begins the investigation. Why did they pause? Was the joke unnecessary? Did you talk too much? Did you sound nervous? A conversation that lasted 3 minutes can replay in your head for the next 3 hours. The strange part is, the other person may have already forgotten most of it. Psychologists sometimes describe this pattern as post-event processing. It happens when your mind repeatedly reviews a social situation after it has ended, but this review is rarely neutral. Your brain doesn't replay the whole conversation like a calm security camera. It edits the footage. It zooms in on the awkward pause, amplifies the sentence you regret, and removes the normal moments. You remember the one word you mispronounced, but not the 5 minutes when you spoke clearly. You remember the moment they looked away, but not the moment they smiled. You remember the silence, but not everything that happened before and after it. Your brain is not only trying to remember the conversation, it is trying to answer one question. Was I accepted? For most of human history, belonging to a group was connected to safety. Modern conversations are not life or death situations, but the brain can still treat small signs of rejection as important. A delayed response can feel like disapproval. A neutral face can feel like judgment. A short reply can feel like proof. The problem is that social situations contain a lot of uncertainty. You cannot directly see what another person is thinking, so your mind tries to fill in the missing information, and an anxious mind rarely chooses the most reassuring explanation. Maybe they were tired, distracted, or thinking about something completely unrelated to you. Once the negative possibility appears, you begin searching the conversation for evidence. The pause becomes suspicious. The facial expression becomes meaningful. Even a simple reply suddenly sounds different. But you are no longer remembering the original conversation. You are remembering it through your current anxiety. Imagine Nexo speaking with someone at work. The conversation goes well, they exchange ideas, laugh once, and return to their tasks. For the other person, the interaction is finished. For Nexo, it has only entered its second phase. Later that evening, he remembers one sentence and starts wondering whether it sounded rude. Then he imagines how the other person interpreted it and how the story might spread. One imperfect sentence becomes a disaster. But notice what actually happened. Nexo received no new information. No one complained. No one rejected him. The anxiety was created by interpretation, not evidence. This is why overthinking can feel productive. It disguises itself as preparation. Your brain says that if you analyze the conversation carefully enough, you can prevent the mistake from happening again. So you replay different versions, create better answers, and rehearse how you will behave next time. For a moment, this creates a feeling of control, but most of the time, you are not solving the conversation. You are practicing anxiety. Every replay teaches your brain that the event was important and dangerous, making it more likely to return. This can also change how you enter your next conversation. Instead of listening naturally, you begin monitoring yourself, your posture, your eyes, your hands, and your voice. The more attention you direct towards yourself, the less attention you have for the actual interaction. You may miss what the other person is saying, and those missing details create even more uncertainty. Then the cycle begins again. Overthinking makes one unfair assumption that everyone else noticed everything you noticed. They did not feel your heartbeat, hear the sentence repeating afterward, or know you were searching for the perfect response. They only saw a person having a normal conversation, and they may have been worrying about how they appeared to you. So how do you interrupt the replay? First, separate facts from interpretations. A fact is that they paused for 2 seconds. An interpretation is that they paused because you said something stupid. Those statements may feel identical, but one describes what happened, while the other describes a story your mind created. Ask yourself, what do I actually know, and what am I only guessing? Second, stop treating discomfort as evidence. Feeling embarrassed does not prove that you behaved embarrassingly. An emotion can be real even when the conclusion attached to it is inaccurate. Third, replace the courtroom with a classroom. Instead of asking, "What is wrong with me?" ask, "Is there anything useful I can learn?" Maybe you interrupted someone, spoke too quickly, or found one small adjustment you can make. Take the lesson once, then close the case. You do not need to punish yourself repeatedly to remember one useful lesson. Fourth, direct your attention outward during future conversations. Listen to the words, notice the environment, and become curious. A conversation is not a performance with you alone on stage. It is a shared moment between two imperfect people. Finally, allow some conversations to remain unresolved. You will sometimes say the wrong thing, make a joke that fails, or leave without perfect reassurance. That is not social failure. That is normal human interaction. The goal is not to become someone who never feels awkward. It is to stop turning every awkward second into a definition of who you are. Most conversations do not need a second trial. Most pauses do not contain hidden messages. And most people are not studying your words. The conversation ended. You are allowed to let it end. If you still feel like everyone noticed every awkward detail, watch the spotlight effect video next. People are paying far less attention to you than you think.